Hi, I have your file in front of me, and I'm going to click F so it cascades to the full screen. We have a problem. I know you want these stars to go on the bottom half. I'm just going to put them all the way around, and you can delete what you want. Okay, so here is the issue. If you're going to use the rotate tool and use the guides to, let me click away from this. If you're going to use the guides to put those stars all the way around, which you should, you have to, kind of, your guides are in the wrong place. At least the vertical guide is. So I'm going to make sure my guides are unlocked. Now, I turned on and off different layers to see where the guides were, and I saw that they're in the art layer. So I'm going to open it up. Now, I'm going to turn and click this vertical guide. You see it? So I'm going to select the vertical guide. Now I'm going to make sure guides are unlocked. So I'm going to go to guides, and there's no lock button there, so we're good. So with the guide selected, let me click away from it again and marquee that guide with the direct select tool. So now I know I have that guide selected. Okay, so what I have to do is now click on the outer circle, and I want to see where the center is. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the selection tool and click on the outer circle. Well, look up here. If the center button of the proxy is selected, then this is the X ruler on top, right? So it's at 4.25. Now let me click on the inside circle and also see that it's at 4.25. So there's our secret number, right? So I'm going to just copy it. I mean, I could type 4.25, but I'm lazy. So I'm going to click on the guide, which is the vertical guide, and the circle in the layer palette for it. Now, let's move it to, guess what, 4.25, and hit the return key. Now, let's just triple check the other one, which I know is probably right, but let's now marquee this box again, the little box, the outer circle. It's early in the morning. So I see the Y ruler is at 5.5. Let me click the inside circle, 5.5. So there's our secret number. I'm just going to copy it again and click on this guide right there. So I can look in the layer palette and I can see that it is selected and it's at 5.5. So we're good. So look, I'm locking up the guides, and I'll lock up the ellipse, and I'll lock up the other circle. So right there. Okay, good. Now see, I can't select anything. See? Okay, cool. Now I can now use and position the option click, alt click or option click, depending Mac or PC, when I go into the rotate tool. So I'm going to select the circle, all right, and I'm going to, I might have to do this a couple times because my brain is fuzzy. So I'm going to click this button here, this rotate tool, and you can see where the center is, right? Well, as soon as I option click right here, it's going to move that center pivot right there to right there. So now I clicked it, and now my box comes up and I can play. Okay, so you see now it's no longer on the star, it's behind here right there in the center. Okay, so now let's just play and see where the stars take us. I'm going to cancel that. I can't move any other window yet. So meaning I was in that edit box, and I want to make sure I see everything on the screen. Okay, so now let's do it again, and let's option click right there again to bring up our box. Okay, now let's hit take and see if I go 15 degrees, based on that circle thing. Let's now hit preview and see that it's perfect. It's now going around and it's not going to overlap the other star. So now we hit copy, not OK, copy. And now I have two of them there. Now all I have to do is hit Command or Control D, and I get them to go all the way around, and now I have exactly what I want, and it's so close to the right position that nobody would know at all. You see how, let me minimize this. Okay, and now why I'm doing that is I want to move it over and then click away from it. So I'm holding the command key. I'm going to switch out of this darn rotate tool to a selection tool. Got it? Okay, I could have hit the V key. Now, see how that, oh, the stars are perfect. Now, they're not aligned perfect. If I wanted to rotate them, I would have to manually rotate each star if you want it to point up. You know, like if you want the, see how this one has the center positioned perfectly? All we have to do is click each one, hit the rotate tool, and then I could manually hit the E key. Do you follow what I'm saying? I'm not going to move that, but I am going to manually rotate it so it's more or less pointing straight up. Nobody would know the difference. Now you have to do that, unfortunately, to each one. So watch this. If I hold the command key while I'm in the E key, which is the transform tool, I can click this one, let go, and just rotate it straight up. So I'm going to do the same thing. Command key, click, let go, hold your cursor out here, rotate. So that's now pointing straight up. Let's keep on going. Command key, click, and rotate. Didn't have to rotate that one very much. Command key, click. Didn't have to rotate this one at all, hardly. A little bit more, Mr. Sorial. Let's command key, click, rotate this one. Go over here, command key, select it, let go, hold it out. The farther you hold it outside the bounding box, meaning the farther, when you're in the transform tool, the farther that you move this out, the more control you have in the rotation of it. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's command key click, let's rotate it. Oh, that one was almost right. And I'm just visually doing it. Nobody will know the difference. If I wanted to make it perfect, I guess I could. There is no numerical input that I can put on this to make sure that each one is rotated perfectly. I'll show you a cheating trick in a second, okay? So now I have them rotated. Let me hit Command S to save the file, and now here's the cheating trick. If you switch back to the selection tool, you can pull a guide down and see how you can kind of just test it. See how you can test where that is right there? And then I'll pull it down to this one. See how I'm a little bit off on this one? It needs to rotate counterclockwise a little bit. You follow what I'm saying? So if I leave the guide there, I can click this and then just hit the E key and just gently rotate that back. I mean, now I have it pretty good. Now, I don't have to put a new guide every single time. If I hit the A key and I make sure the guides are unlocked, I have to go make sure the guides are not locked, then I can grab this guide. I should be able to grab that guide there and now move it down to here. Okay, now you can see how I can click on this one in the center, either with the selection or direct selection tool, and hit the E key. As long as the points are solid, I can rotate them accurately. So if the client was going to hold me to the stars being beautiful, that's fine. Now I'm making them prettier, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll switch back to the direct selection tool, click away, click back on the guide, and pull it here. Look at how bad I had that one. Now click in the center, hit what? The E key, hold your cursor out, and you can rotate that one pretty. So you can continue on, but I think I've solved your issue. Let me hit Command semicolon to not see the guides, or Command semicolon to see the guides, and there are your stars. Let me know if that helped.